guys, welcome back to the channel. We are downstairs getting ready to go outside. Got the catch can over here all finished up, and I want to install this, but unfortunately I don't have anywhere to mount it. And I mean, it came out really well. I've got the catch can done and built. I built my drain line that's going to go to the bottom of this with my little valve, little extra hose, so hopefully I can just drain it out, hopefully behind the passenger wheel or wherever. But yeah, also got to put this in. This is the little level hose that goes right here. Got to trim it and final fit it. Today though, I got to make some space. We got to get some room in that engine bay so that we can get that thing installed. So what we're gonna do is go under here, and I haven't shared this with you guys yet, but there's a big shelf and there's tons and tons of bins, lots and lots of stuff down there. I'm not going to tell you guys every single thing that's down here, but it's kind of like, at a glance, my new parts hoard, we're going to call it. I have something down here that we need to go install. Let me pull it out of here. Boom. We've got a non-cruise control throttle cable here. So this has to go in. We have to delete the cruise control box and the little motor and the wiring and all that stuff so that we can install our catch can. And there's also another thing I got to do, but I don't know if I have enough piping for it. I've got to get rid of that MAF sensor that's sitting out there. So let me pull out my box of goodies here. We'll take a look. And I do have a lot of stuff in this thing, so I'm going to dig through it real fast and see if we have one that'll fit in place of the MAF sensor. Looks like it's pretty much slim pickings right here. Got a J-pipe. That's not going to work. A couple of pieces of aluminum. One has a hole in it right here for my, what was this? This was IAT I was going to install, I think. I can't recall. I don't know. That might work, but there's a hole. And we have a short section here. We've also got the first attempt at an intake filter, or intake tube. I had a filter mounted to this. This was where the boost reference was, and I can't remember why I cut two holes, but we have a piece of pipe there. That may work. We've got an old lower intercooler pipe section. This is all mild steel too, so we can work on this. And we got another little section here. Maybe what we can do, lop off the holes, weld this to here, because it's got kind of a little slight bend to it if you look at it. This might fit perfectly in there, because I can kind of angle this off just a skosh, and we can get the MAF sensor out and then connect this to the blow-off valve and then up to the throttle body. So we're going to set this off to the side for now. We might do this last. I want to clean up the engine bay a little bit, so I guess I'll show you guys how to do that. Let's head outside. Well, boys, we are out here, and let me see. I feel like I'm zoomed in more than I should be. Anyways, we're outside here. First thing we're going to start messing with, we have our cable laying on the ground right here, just chilling. We're going to have to take out a couple of things. So I haven't done this on a 2G before, but it looks pretty straightforward. So first thing, this bracket, this is going to come out, and this is where we're going to end up mounting our catch can. So this whole assembly right here, all the cruise control crap attached to it, runs over, goes into this box here, has another cable come out, and that cable loops across and ties into the throttle. So it looks like from the pedal, it probably passes up and ends up here someplace, I'm assuming. Regardless, we're going to start taking some stuff apart. First thing we got to do is disconnect the two 10 mils right top here, and that's going to free up the adjustment for the throttle cable. We're going to rotate the throttle cable, actually the whole throttle, all the way back, and then we're going to slip the little wire end out that's right there and free that up, so then basically the cable is just going to be hanging here on this end. We're going to trace it back, take out that 10 mil on top. There's also way down in the back, let's see if I can show you this. It's kind of a tight fit. I don't know if I'll, oh yeah, there you can kind of see it. Let me show you right here. Way in the back there. I don't know, I can't get it to focus on it. There's another 10 mil. It's underneath right here. It's straight down. Oh, there, now you can see it. So it's way back there. You can just see the head peeking out right down in the backside there. So we're going to take those out. Then there's one 10 mil. Oh, let me zoom you back out here. Oh, God. My zoom is so slow. There's a 10 mil here, and then there's 2 on the side right here that have to come out, and then this whole bracket comes out. Also have to unplug this. We're going to tape this off to the side or zip tie it up underneath the fuse panel here, or fuse box, and just get it out of the way. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm working on here. I'm going to take the 2 10s out of the back of the intake manifold, and we're going to disconnect our throttle cable real fast. Alright boys, we've got our throttle cable all disconnected here. Let me show you where she is. She kind of rolls right into the back over here. That is all of the throttle cable kind of just hanging out there. Zoom back out some. So we're going to leave this off to the side, and we're going to start pulling out some of our 10mm bolts. Next, we're going to take this thing out, this little box with that 10mm, and there's 2 more below it. I'm pretty positive there's only 3 there, so let's get that out. So then, we got our cruise control motor out. I did unplug it right here from that little plug right on the side here. We've got this bracket all disconnected in the back. We've got our cable laying across. The only thing holding it in out here, it's just pressed into these little clips here. You got to kind of push it out the bottom of these. Probably gonna have to pry that open with a little pair of pliers and push them out. It's really tight. Maybe it'll just sneak out. I'll give it a little oomph. Then let me grab my little flashlight here and show you. We're gonna have to crawl under the dash after we get our 10mm out that are kind of hidden, but I might be able to show you. Oh, of course, bracket's gonna be in the way. Let's get you out of the way. All right, if you can see where the throttle cable goes in, I don't know. Yeah, you can see there's a couple of bolt heads showing. There's 2 10mm right there on the firewall. One on the bottom right, one on the top left. We're gonna buzz those out real quick. Then we have to disconnect the clip that's on the back of the throttle pedal, and we can pull this whole assembly out, and we should be ready to get our new cable started in. If that was a little blurry or you guys couldn't really make out what I was doing, but you can kind of see where I'm at, right? So we've got everything under here disconnected. Those 2 10s that are all the way back there, those are going to be a pain in the butt to put back in, but with a little bit of a swivel and wobble head extension action, you can make it happen yourself. So now we have to do what everybody regards as the difficult part on the forums, which is disconnecting the clip from the throttle pedal. Now, I'm not talking trash on that. I don't know if it's that difficult or not, because again, I've never done one of these deletes. So what we're going to do is climb up under there, take a look at it, and see if we can apparently pull a little plastic piece out and free up the cable from the linkage. This is the part that everybody was worrying about online. Now, I opted to take out 2 of the 12mm bolts holding this pedal assembly to the firewall here, and let's see. Here we go. So there is a 14mm, or no, I'm sorry, a 12mm here, and another one on the post below it, and up at the top of the pedal, this is the plastic thing everybody's talking about. It looks like it presses in and then expands from the front here. So you slide the cable in and snap it into place. There's no tension on this anymore, and the spring is still on the pedal right here. But I did what they said and pulled those 2 little bolts out. Now I can give this the old spinaroo, and let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah, you can see on the back of it, that little plastic piece, it looks like it just compresses and then you push it through. So it should be pretty straightforward. Whew! All right, guys, so that is actually a real tough thing to take out. The way that this works, it has, it's way up there. It has a couple of little clips on the back of it. I'll show you when we get it out of here. But all it does is slide through the top part of the pedal and clip in from the front. We got all this stuff disconnected. Now I'm going to start pulling everything out. We're going to start from the left and just hopefully feed the throttle cable out. That was a little bit more intensive than I thought it was going to be. So now that we've got this all pulled apart, I want to compare these ends, because the cable that I got was actually from a gentleman who was building a 2G, and he claimed that the second generation non-cruise cables were unavailable anymore, so you had to buy a 1G, and you had to do a little mild or minor modification to it, which is just bending the end of the line a little bit to go through the firewall. So let's compare those. All right, guys, so this end looks exactly the same, but I'm thinking I see what he's talking about on the other side. Looks like this end is straight and this one has a very slight bend to it. So I think I'm just going to mount this up in the vise downstairs real fast, give it a quick bend. I'll be right back with you. Okay, guys, so the bend was extra small. I didn't want to go too crazy and pinch anything, but this was straight before, so I just gave it kind of a little bit of a tweak. There was a bubble right here. I bent it just a touch because I don't want it to, you know, break inside or touch the wire and you know, lock the throttle open or something funny. So also, one other thing I'm going to do before we even start to install this thing, I'm going to give a little WD-40 Specialist water resistant silicone. I'm just going to spray it down the jacket of this line, and we're going to let it be lubed up a little bit before install. Okay, so I did find the part that we actually do need to bend. This does not fit in correctly. It's too tight of an angle, so we're going to have to open this up. We're going to have to bend it back just a little tiny bit, so I'm going to go do that. This is almost a straight right angle, like a 45. I'd say it's probably a 40-degree bend. We're going to straighten it out just a touch. I'll be right back. This is what we ended up having to do to this. Got a little marked up. Nothing's pinched. Instead of it being just a straight angle, we had to kind of straighten it back out some. It has to go in and forward a lot more than the 1G one. So everything fits though. I just test fit it, so you guys want to remember that shape. It's kind of like a little wave. I had to bend this end down and back a little bit to make like more of a dip right here, so it kind of redirected it this direction instead of shooting it down. This way it can come straight out and that can still bolt up fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing thrown back in there and see you guys in a minute. All right, guys, I got the throttle cable bolted to the firewall. It was kind of a pain right in the butt, so yeah, good luck with that one. That one's kind of tough. You're gonna need at least a wobble head socket extension. I used like a 8-inch or something, 8-inch 3/8 wobble socket extension, and those 11-side sockets or 12-side sockets or whatever I've got here, I can't remember the names. But anyways, I used those, got that thing tightened down, and you can see the clearance is kind of tight in there. The cable had to be bent just a skosh, so that way it would kind of, you can see it right there, come up and out. So now we're gonna twist this thing around, get it put back in the little clips on top of the fuel rail, and reattach it to the throttle itself, go inside, put the pedal back together. Well, boys, we've got this thing all put back together, and I do have to say it cleans up a lot of space over here in the engine bay. This whole area over here, having that thing out of the way, it's going to make a nice spot like many others have done and mounted their catch can over there. I've got a couple of 10 mil spots here and here. I'm going to use those as probably my primary mounting points, and we're just going to have the can set off to the side right over here, run a line to the PCV side, and run the other line to the valve cover vent line. Then we'll have one come down to here, and this will just pull vacuum through that oil catch can and everything will be good. But a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of bending. We've got our new cable in here, and again, this is a part 4 of a first gen, so a little bit of modification was needed. Obviously you guys saw that, but everything works now. It's all nice and smooth. Make sure that when you do this, you adjust a little bit of play back here on the cable where you can get it. You want to be able to push it just a little bit, wiggle it without it actually moving the throttle. That's like free play that's in it. I think there's supposed to be a 1/2 inch of free play or something in the line there. I can't recall, but make sure there is some. Otherwise, you're going to have a really high idle. I'm not going to start the car right this second. I want to go downstairs and take a look at the stock cruise control system and compare that to what we've got now. And yeah, let's go check that thing out. Well, boys, right here on the healing bench, we've got the stock system. This right here is the motor. Then there's a little pulley system inside of here, and you can see kind of how everything ties it together. Basically has a line that runs in and loops out to this line, and then the line from here comes in and loops and connects it all. I'm not going to throw this thing out. It does have a possible future. Maybe I can sell it. Maybe I can put it back on. I'm going to hold on to it for a while. It's obviously vacuum driven. There's a little vacuum pump inside of here, and pressure opens and closes a diaphragm which pulls the cable shut. So yeah, fun little system we got here. Anyways, this is all out of the car. It's freed up some space for that, so now we're going to finish putting that thing together. Well, not today, but in the next couple of days we're going to install that. Regardless, we do have to delete the MAF sensor that's in there. We're going to take that out, clean up the wiring mess that's back there, and just make it look a little bit better down there. So I've got a couple of contenders right here. I've got some mild steel intercooler piping. It's not as heavy as you'd think, but I'm going to have to cut it here and probably join it to this piece or use this piece and make a little bit of a I don't know, it's got to kind of make a dip. So next time we come down here, we're going to make this, get rid of that MAF sensor, and once that's completed, we can finally install our new catch can and say bye-bye to the little bit of oil that keeps pooling inside of my intake pipe. Well, boys, we're all set today. If you've enjoyed it, make sure you give it a thumbs up down below. Check out todaysprojectguide.com and pick up some merch. If you go all the way to the bottom of the page, there's a bunch of new stuff. We're adding things every couple days. Basically, we're adding some new designs for the next week. So if you want to get some DSM merch, we've got a bunch of new stuff coming out. We've got some of the old stuff that's still on there. Those of you who have already purchased, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. It actually helps me make more videos like this. And anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today. Cruise control system is out. 1G style non-cruise cable is installed. Cleared up a bunch of space. I'm happy with it. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.